Alrighty, doing another Sunday weekly trading review on the week trading that just passed, obviously, and gonna answer some of these questions again and talk about what I did wrong, what I did right, what I didn't do, and what could have been done. So first one, pre-market execution and preparation. Out of 5 trading days, how many mornings were spent on full pre-market prep, scanning, game plan levels, news flow? I would say 3 to 4 out of 5. I think I got I think like Thursday morning. I didn't really pay attention to the market with this gap down. I mean, like the market was up 4 straight days, and like Nvidia was like kind of extended. Palantir, same deal, kind of extended. So this Thursday was kind of like and there wasn't really much setups in my opinion. Um, oh, this was Friday. I didn't really see like CISQ. If you bought it this day, you would have got stopped out. Very hard to enter back in, unless you're buying it, through this peak, I guess. Credo, I don't really see a setup here. I mean, this breaks out into new all-time highs. I think it's all-time highs. Yeah, all-time highs, and then just gets stuffed. um, EOSC, same thing. Like there was, it opened up, gap down. Oh, sorry. Yeah, there's gap down. I mean, there wasn't really much setups. Looking at it from the night before, and then in the morning, things were gapping down, and I was like, well, I don't know if I want to play the bounce here. The market is a little extended on the short term, so I didn't really pay attention. I didn't scan. I didn't do anything. Yeah, so nothing much I was looking for really on that Thursday. That's why I didn't trade or scan that Thursday morning. So yeah, that was. I didn't touch the market Thursday. Just didn't see anything. And Friday as well, I kind of was a little lazy on Friday. I didn't look. I was like, well, I don't see much. I don't really see anything. So I didn't uh, take any trades Friday either. Or I didn't pay as in depth attention as I did on some of these other names previously during the week. On Lumen too, I was like, dang. I was looking for a short on this one, like an extended. I mean, it was up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days in a row, and then I was looking at it on Thursday. I think this was the only stock I was really looking at on Thursday, and it gapped down. Um, Gapped down. I was like, oh well. I was looking for like a slightly gap up and then fail, and then it broke out. Well, not it broke out, but it bounced to yesterday's highs, or the previous day's highs, and then just kind of closed red, and then overnight and pre-market it just gapped tremendously down on earnings. Also, a reason why I didn't want to touch this one was because of earnings. It was kind of didn't know how the market was going to react on this earnings. Um, so yeah, didn't really trade Thursday, Friday, honestly. On days prep was skipped or rushed. What was the reason? Just didn't see much setups, and honestly, just got a little lazy. I'm gonna be honest. Got a pretty little lazy. Uh, yeah, straight up, just got lazy. Didn't really see much. I also saw some people on X talk about how there wasn't much setup, and they're much better traders than I am. So I was like, you know what? I'll just listen to them and not trade because I didn't really see much setups. How did lack of prep impact results for those days? Well, Thursday didn't. I didn't see really any big moves that I missed. I can go back. I'll look later in this video to see if there was really any moves that any stocks that made really big moves. And on Friday, it did kind of impact. I missed QS. This one was a big one Friday. Somehow it wasn't on my scans at all. Like I didn't have it on my scan at all. I just completely missed it. Just I scanned the night before. I just didn't see it at all. So maybe I have to do some deeper scanning. Yeah. What one improvement will ensure consistent pre-market prep next week? Probably good sleep. If I have bad sleep, I'll be much more inclined to be lazy. I think I'm using the word correctly. I'll be if I have good quality sleep, I'll be up and ready to go and ready to attack the market, whether the setups or not. But just to be scanning and looking and just paying attention, seeing what's moving, what the money's moving, what sector's going, what sector's collapsing or coming down, what sector's weak. I think that the sleep, getting good sleep, is probably pretty important in this aspect for pre-market prep, especially. Waking up feeling good, feeling, I guess, rested, can, I think, impact better my choices better. Execution versus opportunity set. Did trades align with setup scan that were truly in play? I didn't make any trades this week. Um, I just didn't pull the trigger, or I just didn't see any, or I missed them. One I did miss that really kind of pissed me off was Sim. I missed it on Wednesday. Just come like I have the. Oops, sorry. I have the. Let's see, Thursday, Wednesday. I have the notifications here. 11:05 a.m. Right around on this candle bar here. Oops, that's the wrong day. Sorry, 11:05 a.m. on Wednesday. So right around here, right when it was breaking out. I got the notifications, but I just didn't do anything about it. So, yep, missed that one. So I didn't. How many quality A plus setups did you take? I didn't take any. How many did I miss? Let's go through this. Let's go through. Okay, let's go to this tools, custom date sort. I'll look this Monday. So the 27th. Yeah. So here I'll look for the biggest. No, the biggest moves. Maybe this one. This is not really my type of style, but I have been paying attention to these big news. This is not a trading thing. I'm not gonna trade that one. Either am I gonna trade this one? Biotechs really scare me. They can have some phase 2, phase 1, phase 3 trials that I don't know about, that I haven't been done research on, and go down 80% overnight. I don't want to touch that. Either this one. I don't know if I like this one. So these were all. I'm gonna go through these and see all the A plus setups that I missed. HKD, not my type of style, but kind of insane. Gaps up. I don't even know what the news is on this. All the revenue. So got it. 6 months ended April 30th. 73.2 million, up from 6.2 million. So a huge amounts of revenue increase. But HKD, look at in the past. I don't know. I didn't want to touch that one. VS. Nope. A lot of these are gonna be like horrible illiquid names. Pump. I guess you can say I missed this one as an EP, but I mean, why don't I? If this one is also a pretty tough one, because it gaps up 15% roughly, goes below previous day highs, and then gaps up again on earnings. Like, I'm not gonna buy this one here, especially with earnings coming up. So I guess this was a buy. This was a potential buy here on this day. Was kind of little. So they did have, I guess, if you're looking at it from a profitable company type way, it's not a profitable company, as you can see here. They had negative 2 cents on their EPS. They expected negative 12 cents, which is better. So they outperformed what they were expected, but they're still losing money. So I guess if you're like an investor type play, you don't want this. But trading wise, yeah, this was a pretty good setup. Yeah, I guess I would miss this one. I don't know if it's. Is it an A plus? I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, it's just been in a range for these past 5 years. It doesn't really seem that great. I mean, there's a lot of supply here. You see it kind of rejected in this area. There's overhead supply in this $11 to $12 area, like tons of it, and then even higher. So I wouldn't say this is a A plus setup at all. Okay. Nothing here. CSIQ. Now this one was an A plus setup. I really do believe this is an A plus setup. And the fact that it's up, 72% in about a month and a half. It goes sideways. You can see creates a range here right on the 10 and 20, and gaps up on some news, and then rips like 12% intraday. But you would have got stopped out the next day. And I guess if you something that I've been learning from some guy. His name is Peoplewish. I don't. His name is Alec. I think his real name is. He talks about these left side peaks. Also, Ariel, simple Ariel talks about it on Twitter, on X, about these left side peaks when these stocks cross through them. I was watching this one. I'm just starting to put this green line here. This green line is like the left side peak. I gotta look more into it, what their setup is, but I guess this would have worked on that. I don't know how you trade this on if a stock goes underneath it, comes right back through it. But it would have worked. But if you buy on this day here, you can also see the volume. Pradeep talks about this 9 million volume. It was close, so I guess it wouldn't have worked. But also, I mean, this is a pretty horrible stock. It's in the solar sector. I don't. This is a good setup. Now, is it a leading theme, leading sector? No, but it is a great setup on news. You just would have got stopped out the next day, and then you would have seen it. If you had a low day, you would have seen it up 25% the next day from where you would have got stopped out of. So that's a tough one. Let's look for more. Anything else? Nope. No. Yeah, it's biotech. Those are scary. Neg. This was last Friday. This play here has been all like, just I guess manufactured. There's no real, there's not a real reason for this thing like to go up. But this here's pretty common setup that I've seen on these high rippers. They'll have like another bounce here. I don't know if it'll reach these highs. Usually it doesn't. It'll get close, but then it'll fail. But I mean, this thing has been all like hype. Just no reason of this thing going up. It's kind of insane why this thing is up at all. GSAT. Over here. This one I think is like technically a buyout. So this one also was midday through. Like this was midday, like towards the end, like 3 p.m. right before the market closed, like an hour right before. Like I'm not really gonna be on my computer an hour before the market closes, so I'm not catching this one. So this is not an A plus setup, and this is like more of a buyout. So I wouldn't touch that one. So as you can see in terms of A plus setups, maybe one or two. This one was a nice one. This was actually a phenomenal one here. Completely missed this one. Great setup here. It's up 57% in about a month and a half. The news here. So they just got an upgrade. Oh. Yeah. Company reported late Wednesday Q3 just earnings. So their earnings were down from the year before. They expected 25 cents. But Citigroup upgraded them. Revenue in the last 3 months, 22 million, down from 27 million the year before, and expected to. So they beat analysts' expectations, but year over year, it was pretty. They decreased. And the EPS also was below analyst expectations, but I guess it got upgraded by Citigroup, which is I think what caused this to go. But here in the setup, pretty good setup. Sometimes that's all stock needs, just like an upgrade by a pretty big analyst. This one's too slow. BE, here's that left side P thing I was talking about. This is insanely hard to trade. It's starting to get harder. Before it was just gap up here. You would have been in it till maybe here on a gap down. If you're using the 20, you're still in it technically. But if you're using the 10, you probably would have got stopped out here. Probably would have bought this gap up here. but you would have got stopped out again. I mean, this was the initial entry, and you can get entered here again. You could also enter here, here, or added, I guess. But you would have been stopped out here if you're using the 10. 20, you're still in it, even to this day, which would have been 3.5 months off roughly. But it's getting, in this area now, it's getting tough to trade. It's gapping and then failing and then gapping. And we'll see if it creates a range here. But pretty tough one as well. Credo, I talked about this earlier. I guess if you're buying, like once again, left side peak, this thing here that they talk about. I don't know if this is how it works, but you would have bought it the day before. I don't know if you wait for a close over it or through it. I don't know. But this is ripping. It's creating like a little cup here, but no entry. I don't think there's an entry that's been here. To be honest with you, could be wrong, but I don't see an entry. There wasn't really consolidation. This here, it's pretty wide range here. Like this is, higher than its ADR now currently, and that's a pretty high ADR, especially considering this candle here. So I guess if you buy the gap up here, but look at the next day, you probably would look at the low is 164.60, and the next day the low was 165. So you missed it by 40 cents, but I don't see an entry really on this one. So Wayfair, not a bad one. Good for if you're like a long term or bigger and you have a bigger account. But I didn't take this one. I didn't think it's also a little slow. It was much less than 5 ADR. This big gap and this big move kind of caused it to get above that 5, but it was never a 5 before. And I think that's pretty much it that I can find. This was I get never mind. WDC is probably a good one here too, but I think so this is a tough one. You're buying it before earnings. I wouldn't feel comfortable with that. I mean, this is a potential entry here this day, but on this day, that's tough. A day before earnings. Like, I mean, mind you, the breakout worked, and the market we're in right now, it's just like any earnings that's beaten, it's just gonna go straight up, and it did. As you can see, it gapped up the next day, but it's tough to buy this one on earnings. So the day before earnings. So mind you, if this was no earnings here, I think this is like an A+ setup, especially break of these highs here. But day before earnings, it's too hard. I don't think that's an A+ setup, just because of earnings. But it is the leading sector, leading theme, the leading. It's the leading theme of the market right now. It's one of the leaders. I think that's it. Maybe CCJ on this EP here. But like now, you'd be right at your entry unless you bought it on a dip. But yeah, I mean, you know what? This is an A+ setup. This is an A+ setup here. It was in a kind of a sideways range. It gaps up over these highs on a big deal with the government. So this is an A+ setup here. Now it's just not working. Well, it is working, but it's probably gonna gap up Monday or whatever. But this is another A+ setup. So I maybe around, I think that's like what, 4, 5 A+ setups. This one's way too slow. Another slow one. I think that's it in terms of setups. That's all I'm gonna look for through here. It's enough. Maybe I might miss more, but so I guess I missed around 4 to 5 setups, A+ setups. One of them was a true A+ setup. The Sim one, I think, was well, I guess they were all true A+ setups, but this was an A+ setup. This is an A+ setup, but due to earnings, it brings it down. This is like, I guess this turns into like a C because of earnings. You're just gambling on by that point. So not touching that one. CCJ A+ setup. That's 2. I think form was another one. Yeah, it's 3, 3, and then 4. So we're on 4 A plus setups missed. For each missed setup, why didn't you execute? Fear, hesitation, distraction, lack of alerts, and nerves. One I just completely missed. Actually, 2 of them. QS I missed. Didn't see it at all. This line was drawn after the fact. Form, just didn't see this one at all either. It could have been due to the fact that it was below 5 ADR. It didn't pop up on my scans. Now that it's above 5, it now does. CSIQ, I think that was another one. A plus setup. Did I talk about that one? I don't know. This is another A plus setup, but see, yeah, I'm debating about this one because I don't think this. I mean, it's a great setup, but you got to think like it's in the solar sector. And if you take a look at the solar sector here, some of these names are just like run is setting up nicely. So I guess, I mean, these have been on a nice run. No pun there. Some of them have been. Not, I wouldn't say a leading sector, but they have been on a good run. So this one I'll give an A plus setup on this one, especially on this whatever announcement news. I would personally give that one an A plus setup. Just didn't work. So CSAQ, I think I saw that one pretty late. I think I saw it. I just didn't think anything about it. So some of them I just completely missed. One was obviously hesitation and fear, but the other ones I just completely missed. What concrete adjustment will prevent missing similar setups? Alert, auto checklist, earlier watch list. Probably just scanning. Just keep on scanning. Looking through all my scans. I don't know about all my scans, but maybe looking through these. Well, no. Yeah, just looking through my scans, honestly. But I don't know why that QS one didn't pop up. I guess I wasn't looking hard enough. But this 5-day gainer one. This 5-day gainer one is also one I could have used for looking at the biggest moves this week. This earnings. Yeah. I don't know if they have any projects going on or yeah. Anyways, just looking through all my scans. The 1 month gainer, the 3 month gainer, 6 month gainers. Just looking through all those. I'm sure QS is here. Yeah, see, but I don't know if it's after the fact. But see, this is 3 month gainer. This is definitely on the chart, right? Let's see. Yeah, it is. So, looking through the longer term gainers, even the 1 month gainer should have popped up on the 1 month. Oh welly, oh welly. Yeah, just looking through the setups, looking through the scanners more. I think would have been great. Weekly goal progress. What was your key improvement goal last week? It was just same thing. Just only trading the A plus setups. Was progress measurable? Yeah. I didn't trade any. I think I say this every week. I didn't trade any of the A plus setups. So I guess 0 for 4. Now, mind you, 2 of them wouldn't have worked. CSIQ here wouldn't have worked. And then it's not form, is it? It's the, I don't know, what's the other one? CCJ, no. I think one of them might have not worked, which is just that one. CSIQ. But yes, CCJ, that's 1. Form, it's 2. But like again, I said it probably was under 5 ADR. Yeah. things under 5 ADR. Um, QS. This one is a miss, but so I guess I would have missed. I missed them all. The ones that they were A plus setups. So oh well. I Yes, it was measurable. Um, if not, what blocked you? Focus discipline over training low reps. I guess focus. Focus would have probably blocked me. What measurable goal set up for the upcoming week? Same thing every time. It's just trading the A plus setups. If I can trade the A plus setups, then I'll put myself in a good position to make some money. Weekly objective and vision. Was there a clear process objective to start the week and not just profit target? It's all the same. It's the same thing. I've been saying this the past couple of weeks. Just trading the best setups. Trading the best setups and trying to find the best setups. I think is a process objective. Like looking for potential setups. And looking for, especially these earnings. A lot of these earnings. Looking for the best earnings moves also, but that goes with setups. Just in this time of year, it's just earnings. So, how did the pursuit of the objective look each day? It looks by, like I said this last week, starts the night before. The night before, you look through the scans, see which ones have the best setups in the current and correct themes. For example, like these data center plays, these AI data centers are starting to set up again now. Are they setting up for a move down? Am I looking at the right ones? Yeah, they're starting to set up. They're not fully set up yet. They could, but it's hindsight. But like Iron here, starting to set up. It's above the 10-day, right at the 20. You can say just below the 20. Like Wolf, a couple more days, couple more sideways here. Some tighten up. Would be great. Iron, same thing. Couple more days sideways. Or maybe like getting up to this level here. Building more sideways here. APLD, same thing. CLSK can get back up to these levels, get some more sideways action. So they're starting to get there. They're starting to set up. Cypher, same thing. Couple more tight days, but these things are looking to get set up. Some of them are weaker than others. You can see here BTDR under the 10, but right at the 20. Undercut it, got above it. Cypher is looking great. Hive is below the 10 and 20. So this one is kind of weaker out of all of them. Bit F, same thing, under the 10 and 20. And Riot, a pretty big down day. It was also this day, the day before is looking like a great setup. You can see here, they just need to get a bouncing here, but did it and failed. So we will see if these are Qs, these Bit F, Riot, Hive, BTDR, CLSK, are clues on if these things will hold up. In studying sectors and themes, the weak ones will go first. the weak names. So the leader, I believe, is Iron. It's up like 230% since this breakout here. Wolf, same thing. Since this EP, it's up 115. SLNH, it's up 194%. It's also one of the better looking ones right now. Cores, not that great in terms of a move. It's great move, but choppy mover. APLD, another pretty big winner, 164% move just from this area here. CLSK, 76%. BTDR, as you can see, these ones are kind of coming out of a long base here. Rather, these irons, it's the same base but much tighter and took off a lot earlier. So this CLSK looks like a laggard in this sector. BTDR, same thing, looks like a laggard. Cypher looks like this one is like a leader. This is a leader in the sector. Hive, I would say it's not a leader. It's part of it's benefiting from the sector. I wouldn't say it's a leader, but it is benefiting from the sector. Bit F, this one was a leader, I believe. It was. And then Riot, kind of like another laggard. So some of these names, these ones that I have highlighted are like potential setups in the future. I think these have the best setups out of all these names. Let's take a look here. SNL, SL, and H. If you can start building a range up here in this $3.50 to $4 area. Just need some more candles, more days. Cores. This one seems like it's taking off. I think, is this the right? I think they. Right? Hold on. Oh, I can't. Let's see here. Oops. Sorry. Yeah, I think this one's transitioning also to, yeah. Yeah, this is correct. So, out of all these names that I've found, you can see the ones with the flags are the ones with the best setups. You know, they're right at their highs. Cypher, Hive, you know, midway, bit F midway. So, don't want to touch these things. Oops. Where was I at? How did the pursuit of objective look each day? Did I get these already? I think I did. Was there a clear process objective? Yeah, it was. How did your pursuit of the objective look? Oh yeah, right. Starts with the night before. I said this right before I went on that tangent with the AI data centers. I don't even know why I went on that tangent. But it starts the day before, looking for the best setups you can find. And oh, that's right, making sure they're also in the correct sector. These setups. I don't want to be trading it says like a setup on Chipotle, right? Obviously there's not, but you look at, you know, Bros and Starbucks, whatever is in that same sector, to see if there's other things setting up, and if there's not, then it's just a random setup, in my opinion. Where did focus drift and why? Well, this week there was a World Series, so you know, it's once a year. I think it was fine to just, you know, enjoy it, especially with my team winning. So that's where my focus drifted. It was on the World Series. And was it worth it? I think it's worth it. It was an insane series. But yeah, that's where my focus drifted. It was because of the World Series. That's pretty much it. So I mean, the focus of these next coming weeks are going to be pretty locked in. I don't really watch basketball. Start of the season, I don't really care. Baseball's already over. The postseason's over. Football, I don't really watch football that much anyways, and it's not every day. It's just Monday, Thursday, and Sunday. So, how will alignment with objectives be maintained despite emotions or distractions? I said this kind of like last week. Like it's if you want it or not. Like, do I really, you know, want to do this? And how much am I willing to risk and sacrifice for this? So I just can't let my emotions or distractions that are not relevant to focusing on trading. So for example, like a friend calling me to hang out on a Wednesday, you know, that's easy for me to like not hang out with them, because it's obviously a distraction. It's going to waste a couple hours of my night or day, whatever. And the emotions, I can really control emotions pretty well. It's not hard for me to say no to people and, you know, skip out on things. Speed and information advantage. How early were entries relative to the sweet spot moves? I didn't trade anything. That doesn't seem to apply to this week. What caused any delays? Nothing. I didn't trade anything. What step will speed up recognition / reaction time next week? I'm just sticking to my rules. I'm lying. For Sim, it was probably because I stepped away from my computer. Oops. Looking at this, let's look at this on the 2-minute chart here. Sorry. Get this out of the way. So, I'm assuming the market opened. No. What day is this? Yeah. Back up a little bit. Back up some more. Yeah, down here. it's today. So probably like when did I get my alert? It said what? Wednesday. Okay, let's start Wednesday. Okay, Wednesday. Looking at GSID, AVAB, SCI. I got my alert at 11:05, which is right around here. So you can see as it crossed through this thing. Where's the open? Open was right here, roughly in this area. So by the time I see this, the stock is already up. So I guess maybe by having my alert too high. Well, not really, because then still 40%. What was my distraction? Oh, it's for my time. This was 8:05. So I was actually getting ready to kind of go work out. So by the time when I saw this alert, I didn't see it till later in the day. So maybe focusing on my setups until I leave. I guess I work out like at 9 in the morning. That was at 8:05. So for my time, which is what is an hour and a half after the market opens. So honestly, it was pretty. It was a pretty late. It was a pretty late notification, but anyways, because then what's the ATR? Average $6. Yeah, so yeah, so that's actually still a viable purchase. Yeah, it's definitely a viable purchase still. That's like it's only like $4. So the ATR was 6. I guess paying attention to my alerts when I get them. Sometimes I get alerts and I'm just like, I don't even look at my alerts. And the whole point of having those alerts is to get attention on the stock. So paying attention to the alerts, I think will help me focus. I'm sorry, won't cause any delays. What step will help you speed up? Oh, yeah. Just paying attention, just staying focused. A lot of the times, what I do is if there's like if there's not a move in the first like 30 minutes, I'll just jump back in my bed and just take a peek. Just take a peek over to my computer and see if I got any alerts or what's moving. It's kind of like a bad habit. I should probably just be on the computer till I have to leave. But also stepping away, it allows me to like, if there's nothing going on, it allows me to, not force trades. So there's give and take there. Now that sim setup, it was a little later, an hour and a half after the market opened, but that's not an excuse to not take it. So yeah, just staying focused. Or bar replays of best setups trades done. No, I don't have access to any of these. Other than like just looking through it on a 2-minute chart, like I said, and realizing, okay, once it crosses through your alert, buy it. Pretty simple. I know how much you're gonna risk. So like for example, this one here, I'm buying into this alert, so I'm probably buying it like at, let's say, hold on, let me close this. Right at 71.50, and it's crossing right around 71.50. So let's say I buy it at 71. Actually, it kind of blew through it. So by the time I buy it, it might be 71.90, 72. So and then I'm risking $5.50 on that. So also, like I guess replaying like, okay, I'm only gonna buy X amount of shares here because I'm buying it pretty late and I'm only risking I want to risk this much and blah blah blah. That's how I do the replays. Yeah. How time is scheduled for at least 2 replay sessions on personal playbook setups. If it's a good setup, I'll put it in my database, and I will actually screenshot it, look at it, and then look at it on a 2 minute chart or 3 minute chart, 5 minute chart, whatever I feel like looking at it. Actually, 2 minute chart. I trade off the 2 minute chart. I don't know why. Just do. So I guess doing that is probably something I could do in terms of looking or doing these. Doing these replays and creating this pattern recognition, a muscle memory of these setups. Risk management, size discipline, where max daily stop size rules and risk plan followed on every trade. I didn't take any, but I guess I would say no, because I didn't take trades on setups that I should have done. Just the one I saw was Sim. That's the only one I actually visually saw, and I had it on my radar. But I didn't take a trade, so this doesn't really apply. If rules are broken, when and why? Didn't break any rules other than not taking a trade. Did oversized trades help? It doesn't apply this week. What adjustment will secure consistency next week? Just sticking to the plan. So the thing is, I'll create a plan the night before, and then in the morning it just might be ruined. That's mostly due to on the short side. So if I'm looking at a pretty extended play, for example, Lumen for me was kind of extended. Looking at the history of Lumen, even here, well, this was 366%, but when it broke out of a range, out of a flag, for example, here, kind of look at it here, and it was 55% move. Breaking out of this flag, it was 56. So I was like, well, history likes to repeat itself, or it rhymes. So when I guess to 55%, which was when I got to this day. When I got to this day here, and I saw it, up near its all-time highs, I was like, this is not all-time highs. I'm sorry, 52-week highs, I guess. I was hoping for a gap up the next day and to get short into that gap up, but as you can see, it gapped down. Now it did push to the highs. What am I doing with this one? Take this out. So you can see here. Let's go 5-minute, 15-minute chart. Easier on the eyes. Okay. So it gaps down. Let's do it in the 5-minute. Sorry. Yeah, let's do the 5-minute. I like the 5-minute better. I can see a little cleaner. Okay. Here. Stay open. Okay, here's the open. So you can see it kind of gaps down. It sells off in the morning. It opens up how much percentage lower? It opens up around 4.5% lower. So at that point, I'm like, well, there goes a short. Because 4.5% down. I was expecting this. I wanted this thing to gap up. So my plan the night before was to just have this thing gap up. Then I wake up in the morning on Thursday and I'm like, gap down. Oh, and it's earnings. Earnings at excuse me. Earnings later that evening. And I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna. Was it later that evening? When was it the morning of? No, it was later that evening because it's the gap down from the earnings. I was like, yeah, earnings is later this evening. I don't know how I feel shorting this thing with earnings later in the day. I'm definitely not gonna hold it overnight. But my plan was to hold, like a 1 or 2 day short, but it got all ruined, and then also earnings, so that kind of failed. But looking at the day before, creating a setup or plan, and I just couldn't trade it because obviously the plan ruined. What emotions came up most frequently? This week, I didn't really have too many emotions this week, as there wasn't much things to trade. At least what I saw. There was some bounces here and there. I saw some guys, making some big trades and things like that, but I didn't feel any fear or greed. I guess fear on Sim, SYM. FOMO, I don't think there was any FOMO that I saw. Maybe I missed out on STX. Oh, there was another one, the WDC. last week though. Yeah. Yeah, so I didn't really feel any emotions this week. No tilt. I didn't lose anything. So, did emotions impact execution or decisions? They didn't this week. Nothing really. There wasn't really anything that impacted me on decision making or execution. I would say. How was regulation handled in real time? Breathing, stepping away, journal, walk. Stepping away is pretty easy for me because I know if I step away, I can't lose money. Um, I did journal in terms of scanning for setups and taking screenshots of setups and breakouts and big moves, just to study and watching some videos of some other people. So regulation in real time was handled pretty easily. This breathing one, that only applies if I oversize. That's the only reason why this is gonna happen. Um, this one's easy. I journal only when I do trick trades and walking. I exercise daily, so that I don't need to walk. What will be done differently next week to maintain peak state? I don't know if I said this last week, but just getting good sleep. I think getting good sleep is gonna keep me well rested or keep me, I guess, quote unquote, sane. Not like not being groggy in the morning and not having the desire to trade or focus on this. I think that's what's gonna help maintain peak state, and also scanning the night before with the morning of, seeing what's moving and just trusting into my process and doing what needs to be done. Basic. That's it. What were win-loss ratio? I didn't have any. I don't have an expectancy for the week. I don't know what's coming. I don't like to create expectance for myself on a weekly basis or daily basis. So I expect to make $250, and if I don't, or through $2,500, and if I don't, oh, poor me. But or if I make over, like, yeah, nice, great. But I don't the type of trading I do. I don't have it expected. I don't expect anything for the week. What percentage of setups were playbook versus impulse trades? Didn't take any. What were notes or refinements added to the playbook from trades? Didn't have any because I didn't trade. Which setup showed the highest edge, and how will execution or sizing improve? What setup showed the highest edge this week? I guess breakouts, especially with Palantir. Now this was last week, but it continued into this week. So Palantir, Nvidia, a couple red days, but still holding up well. AMD, same thing, broke out. Tesla setting up pretty nicely. This can break out. That'd be another pretty good trade. Baba, I guess you can sit it. Nope, failed. But it was looking great here around these days. The big names were actually the leaders in terms of the big dogs, like the blue chip stocks, I guess you'd say. Nvidia and AMD were probably the best setups. Also due to like last week's breakout, but earnings wasn't, I guess, too hot this week. Microsoft, Meta, Wayfair was another one. And this one worked pretty well. But a lot of them get sold off, in my opinion, from what I saw. I mean, I'd have to look, but I didn't see much in terms of earnings. Google had great earnings, actually, but see, even that got sold off. Apple had great earnings, but once again got sold off. So earnings weren't the play this week. Definitely wasn't EPs. I mean, there was some EPs on news like Forum here, CCJ here. So I would say news related or stocks having, what am I trying to say? Stocks that had breaking news, I would say. Not really earnings was the type of play that was going on. Earnings, I don't think, unless I'm missing any, let's see. Okay. This is just hype. HKD, I guess, had earnings, but I mean, if you're buying this for EP play here, you took a loss. Um, I don't know what Kaba. I don't know what the news was for this, but I didn't really see much earnings. I know it was a big week for earnings, but I didn't see any plays on that. Um, I don't know if there really was an edge this week, other than the few that A plus setups that we saw. Maybe bounce trades. Um, but that's last week. Like this week was kind of a consolidation week for a lot of these high beta names, as they so call it. I think Uranium had a good move, but that's due to the CCJ. You can see here. Watch on the state here. See, this was all due to this. Oh, I guess a day late. Yeah. So Uranium didn't have any good move other than CCJ itself. I'm not buying this on this. There's not even a consolidation here. This is horrible. This is even worse. This is also kind of horrible. Actually, not setting up that bad, but still not that great. Also not a great trader. You can see this. Super choppy. Just boom everywhere. Up 10 under the 10 day, down below the 20, touches the 50, hits the 100, just all over the place. DNN, same thing. So Uranium, and let's look at these metals and minerals. These things were just selling off. Nothing here. Kind of done. Gold, same thing. Sideways action here. Some weakness. Look at the miners. Same thing. Sideways action. There wasn't really anything much of an edge this week, other than if you were trading these high flyers. I guess that was an edge, but it's not my type of style of trading. This actually, well, let's take a look at this. Sorry, it's froze. Yeah, this one here. So now this one, I guess you can consider this one a plus setup, announcing integration of its solutions with Starlink for enterprise grade multi-WAN connectivity and security. So having to deal with Starlink is a pretty big deal. Especially, I mean, just anything related to like Elon Musk or Nvidia right now is kind of psychotic. Things just going crazy. But it opens up here. It goes up 6%. I think a lot of people are buying this here. To be fair, I mean, although it's in the first 1 or 2 minutes. But this one, I think there was problems with this one. It had a lot of halts. Right? Yeah, look at this halts move, and then it gaps up overnight. I don't know if this is really suitable for my type of style of trading. Like more day trading type of style. I mean, it had some okay moves in the past. Let's take a look. Yeah, there's some pretty good setups here. It's a little choppy, but like just stair stepping, 40% here, another 40% here, and then another 50% here. So I guess these high flyers were the way to go. That's the same thing with HKD. But in terms of my setup and trading style, I didn't think there was anything. There was no edge for me, at least. So I wouldn't. There's nothing for me on this one. I don't trade those setups. I haven't done enough studying on those setups, on those high flyers. So yeah. What's the number one priority for improvement next week? Same thing every time. Just trading the best setups and paying attention to what is moving and what is setting up. So like this week, I already talked about it. These AI data center plays. These optics for AI. I mean, this CN keeps running. Light, I missed this trade here. Now the day before it was a little wide. You can see it was up 6. It's 8 ADR, but I wanted some tightness and it gapped up. It's up 15%. COHR kind of in no man's land. Nothing really happening up here. AVGO breaking out. This is more for like a semiconductors in terms of chips type of style play. These are more optics. A laser kind of setting up nicely. It looks similar to light here. Looks very similar to light here. This is light, and then this is laser. Almost the same. This one just keeps chugging along. Insane move. AOI. It is under the 5, under 5 ADR, but this one is super choppy as well. So nothing for that one. Metals and minerals just went sideways. It kind of got lower. Electronic components. Now this one, what the heck? It was up 17%. Oh. This one had some news that came out, right, with the BMWs, some battery stuff going on. Okay, looking setup. It needs to be. I think it needs to tighten up, like here. This can tighten up to like 645 or whatever in this area to make it look clean and nice. That'd be great. AMPX. Oh, I guess I missed this setup, huh? I guess this is another setup that I missed, but I mean the sector EOSE. This one had a short report on it. This one kind of bounced. BE, same thing, bounced or got weak, but got bought up. CLS keeps chugging along. Copen getting a little weak. VST going sideways. So there wasn't really one thing I could say that had the highest edge. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, wrong question. So I guess looking at what's moving and what's setting up, and only trading those best setups in the right sectors and themes. What daily process chain is committed to for making that improvement real? I think I'm doing it. I just need to. I think I said this last week, just to be more focused. And really paying attention to. Like I say these things, focus on this and that, and pay attention to this, and do the nightly scans before. But like really having to pay attention and focus, really doing the work is what's probably going to change this. Will this review make you proud? This will never make me embarrassed. I feel like it being real with myself and having the truth and being honest. That's the only way I can make progress. Telling myself like, listen, dude, you suck. You're not making any progress. You keep losing. Why do you keep losing? Things like that. There's no reason to be embarrassed. Nobody ever comes into this game and is automatic winner. They take a couple years of losses, and some of them blow up, and they do dumb stuff, or they make it and then they just go sideways for years and years and take big losses and slowly recoup, or just screw up. So I'm never embarrassed to go through this. If anybody, whoever watches this, I don't care who it is, I publicly post these videos for myself to look back on. I don't care. I'm never embarrassed by these. There's no reason to be embarrassed. Summary letter future. Oops, that was loud. Recapping this week, pointing out sticking points, and reminding. Where am I? Yourself what to focus on next week. Process, balance, execution, psychology, and data tracking, helping create consistent, honest self-feedback over time. Alrighty. This week wasn't really much to do. Things were up in the air this week. Not in terms of like, what's gonna happen next. But a lot of people questioning this bull market. A lot of people were like, this is way too extended, and then they start shorting, and they're probably gonna get caught again. People starting to say, they've been saying this is a bubble for a while, but this thing just keeps trucking along. This week was, I guess, a mediocre week. Nothing too crazy really happened in terms of my style of trading. Nothing broke out significantly or made insane moves. There wasn't really groundbreaking news. There was for some stocks, but overall pretty mediocre week in terms of the previous weeks. Sticking points. Just keep scanning. Keep looking for setups. And start to grow pair balls. Start taking these setups because you're missing so many. Who cares? I guess it's just money, but I had this problem You have this problem. I'm talking to myself. You can trade other people's money, fine. That's not a problem. You can make money for them, you know, not out of nowhere, but very easily. You just can't do it to yourself. And I think the psychology of it being your own money is probably what's screwing you over, because you know how long it takes you to make that type of money, and losing it is just like so detrimental to your mentality. But I think getting over that fact that, hey, this game is built for that. That's how this game is. You're gonna lose money, so get over it. Um, but the big thing is trading these A plus setups. I think that's, once again, I've been talking about it. I've been talking about it for weeks, but I guess I still don't do it. Um, I just keep grinding. I guess keep putting in the work. Uh, Stop being lazy. Yeah, sometimes you're a little lazy, and you don't want to do the work. But yeah, just keep doing the work. Don't be lazy, and grow some pair of balls, man. Just freaking buy it. Buy it. Well, I mean, you risk, you can you sorry, you know how much you can lose. You risk. I'm the one that sets the risk. You're the one that sets the risk. So why you're risking a certain amount of money when you know you shouldn't be risking that right now, because you're in a drawdown. Um, no one's losing this money for you. You're losing it yourself. You know how much you should be risking, and if you need to trade one share at a time, just do it. But you gotta get out of this drawdown, and it's a big mentality thing for you just to get through. Uh, yeah. I don't know what else to say. It's hard. Right now, it's really hard for me to say something in terms of like putting words together. Uh, I keep using filler words. I want to get away from the filler words like and like and blah blah blah. But don't stop being afraid of taking losses. Part of the game. Trust yourself. You've been doing this for at least a year and 2 months full time now. Your first year you had great progress. You're starting to psych yourself out and starting to think, can I really do this, or do I deserve this? That's something I've really been, you've been really having problems with. Is do you really deserve this? Have I put in the work? I don't know. Well, that's it. That's all I can think about right now. Nothing else pops into my mind as of right now, so I just will end the video here. It's a super long video, but nobody's gonna watch this anyway. Just you. So, all right, that's it. See ya.